is a classic dungeon diving adventure game, inspired by the likes of The Legend of Zelda. You play as an adorable little death-dealing crow, working for a bunch of bureaucratic birds known as the Reaping Commission. This murder of crows are responsible for gathering the souls of the living and taking them into the afterlife. Yes, for some reason, crows are in charge of that, and yes, some of them wear adorably fashionable suits. After one of your assignments goes pear-shaped, you find yourself on an off-books mission to secure 3 giants' souls in order to break through the final door of them all, Death's Door. This quest sends you off through the game's 3 main areas: a creepy witch's estate, a frog king's decaying ruins, and a yeti's icy mountaintop, each connected by the central cemetery. On your way, you'll be put through plenty of challenging and very satisfying combat. Timing your sword strikes, magic attacks, and dodge rolls becomes a deadly dance that feels great to master. I love how your attacks land with such a satisfying crunch. And each area throws new enemies with new attack patterns to learn, which kept me on my toes at every turn. Your magic powers also have limited charges, but are recharged by getting hits with your melee weapons. I found that created a great rhythm of switching between dealing damage from a safe distance before needing to dive back in for a few quick, risky hits. Timing and positioning is everything with this combat. Spells take a second or 2 to cast, while a missed swing or dodgy dodge can leave you open just long enough to get hit. Different weapons also have different timings to consider, so if you like, you can go for fast and furious daggers or a slow and powerful hammer, or something more in between. Choose wisely, because you can only take 4 hits before meeting your own death. Although there are some very well hidden shrines that can give you 2 additional chunks of health and magic, if you can find them. There are special seeds you can plant in pots to restore health too, but you'll often have to make it through a gauntlet of foes before you find the next pot, so mistakes quickly add up. Thankfully, you're never punished too harshly for dying. You'll just be sent back to a nearby door at the start of the area and have to try again. Enemies will respawn, but specific tough fights and mini-bosses won't, and there's usually always shortcuts that you can open up. So even if you cock it after making it quite far in an area, you'll have made steady progress. You can also use those doors to travel back to the commission and spend souls you've gathered on upgrades, or to quickly revisit other areas. The boss fights are a particular highlight and really put everything you've learnt to the test. Their attacks are always well telegraphed and easy to read, but they come at you thick and fast. It can be tough, though it never feels unfair. Some bosses handed me multiple servings of butt whooping, but I could always see what I had to do, so I wanted to just dive back in for another shot. I also loved how after each boss fight, there's a little memorial to commemorate them and their life. It's just a sweet touch and a refreshing way to deal with death in games. These bosses were creatures and beings with fictional lives worth celebrating and remembering, even if they were our so-called enemies. And in fact, I loved so many of the characters here. There's some great designs and interesting backstories to them. There's also just a lovely twisted sense of humor that gave me a few genuine chuckles at times. There's a great pacing to it all too. There's almost always a nice bit of downtime between combat for you to just soak in the sights and the wonderful music. There's also some good light puzzle solving, although they're mostly simple tasks like lighting a bunch of fires or finding the right thing for a thing, rather than actual puzzles. But they are satisfying to work through. And there's plenty of very well hidden secrets and extras to find too. As you unlock more magic powers, you'll be able to open up extra paths and secret areas from early levels. This made it a lot more fun to go back and search for little hidden nooks and crannies that you may have missed. Overall, this was just a brilliant bird-based adventure that I could crow on about for ages. It stuck its talons into me right from the start and didn't let go. So I'm giving it 5 out of 5 rubber crows.